Hey guys, it's Lauren with Bushel and Peck. Thank you so much for subscribing to my channel and following me in my small business adventures. This is our Hocus Pocus stemless wine glasses with the glitter. And if you've already purchased your kit, you know that everything you see here and more is included in the kit. But for those that did not purchase the kit and are trying to make this at home on their own, I will also be speaking to those people today too. So let's go ahead and talk about what's either A, in your kit that you purchased from Bushel and Peck, or B, what you'll need to complete this craft. So the first thing we have is an application brush, application sponge, some masking tape. Now, you don't have to use masking tape. You can use painter's tape. It's just more expensive. And I've even seen people use electrical tape. But that's completely up to you. As long as you don't try to use like the clear Scotch tape or anything like that, this will provide the line that we need. We're going to need 2 paper plates, some Mod Podge, and it doesn't matter if it's gloss or matte. For our purposes, it really doesn't matter which kind that you get. So whichever you can find in your local dollar store or craft store is completely fine. So you will need decals, which we already applied in my earlier video, and unfortunately that video was deleted when my phone died. So basically all we did was remove the backing from our vinyl decals, and we put the decals on there. So you didn't miss much at all, just putting on the decals. And that's pretty self-explanatory. It's just like putting a sticker on there. There's Winifred. And there's Mary. And I decided I didn't want any lips for her. I probably should have, but maybe we'll add them later. You guys have lips for her in your kit, so don't worry about that. And for Sarah, we have gold glitter. For Winifred, we have a nice burnt orange, like a copper. I thought that would really pop. And for Mary, we have a gorgeous, like royal purple. Look at that. That's really nice. And these are 1 ounce cups. I'm going to play around and see if this about 1/2 of an ounce will be enough for our needs. We are going to be reusing. That's why we have 2 plates. As we're pouring over 1 plate, we're going to be gathering up the excess and pouring a second time with the excess from the plate. And I'll show you what I mean. And then a few of you ordered the add-on kits with Billy Butcherson and Thackeray Banks, and you have glasses with the black glitter. But for our purposes today, we're just going to do the 3 Sanderson sisters. And since we've already applied our decals, we're just going to make sure we get some Mod Podge, tape, sponge, and plates, and that's really all you need. And the glitter here, that's really all you need to get started. So let's go ahead and see if we can't make some magic. Okay, so let's go ahead and move our plates out of the way. We won't need those right now. And we won't need the glitter right away, because right now we're going to be taping. So let's start with Sarah. Using our masking tape, we're going to be using strips. We're not going to try to make long lines all at once. We're not going to try to make 1 line all the way around at once. It's easier to make a straight line if you do it in sections. So let's see, I want about maybe 1.5 inches on the bottom for the glitter. So I'm going to apply right at the lowest point of Sarah's hair, and I'm going to cover up the decal, and let's add maybe about 1/4 inch of overlap. under the decal there. So you see that extra that we have? So we want our glitter line essentially to start about 1/4 inch under their hair. And then once we think we have a nice line, we just smooth that out. And we continue applying the strips around the entire base of the glass. And the good thing about this masking tape is it's easy to adjust it. If you pull the glass back and it looks like you don't have a nice line, and I'm looking through the camera so you guys can actually see if I have a better line a lot easier than I can. But for my purposes, I'm just going to trust my instinct, and I'm going to say that that is a nice line. Now, if it is not, and all is said and done, we can go in, just remember everything can be fixed. We can go in later, and with the fine chisel point of our sponge, our application sponge, we can add a little bit of Mod Podge. Maybe we had a dip right here, add a little bit of Mod Podge and glitter it later to even it out. Let's go ahead and apply a tape all the way around. Okay, we've applied a nice tape border around the entire bottom, and you don't have to worry about the top here because no glitter is going up here, so we just care about this line situation down here, and we're just setting up a nice little perimeter, nice little border along the bottom. And then, like I said, if we have issues with it being wavy or uneven, that's actually something we can just go in later and fix it. So in the meantime, there is our line around, and we can start the Mod Podge process. So for that, we've got our Mod Podge here. We've got our applicator, and we don't want to go too heavy, but we do want to make sure we don't leave any gaps in application, and we're just going to apply in downward motions along the entire base of the glass and even on the bottom. Now I should have removed this sticker before, but we'll go ahead and take it off. And you want to do the bottom too. Definitely. And I'm going to be pretty generous with my Mod Podge. I'm not going to be stingy with it. Just don't want to overdo it, but we want a nice layer. And while we're doing this, we are remembering that Mod Podge dries fairly quickly. So the faster we can apply this, the better. And we want to make sure we know where our glitter is and our plates. So once we have this application, we can grab those plates and get our glittering done. Is that a word, glittering? I'm not sure. I may have just made that up. Okay, so let's see. You got any naked spots? Do you see any? Probably, but can always do more layers later. But let's go ahead and get some glitter done. Glitter done. All right. Let's go ahead and set our second plate to the side, and on our first plate we will set our glass, and we will start glittering as soon as we can so that we don't miss out on any of that Mod Podge. We want it to still be nice and wet for our application. And the 1 ounce, the 1/2 ounce cups should actually be just enough glitter, actually more than enough to get the project done. And don't forget the bottom. Now, after you've applied that and you have the extra glitter here, pull over your second plate, and you're going to take this opportunity to do another little round of glitter with the excess that fell off before. And I want to do it along the lines to make sure that I really get as crisp of a line as I can. And a little on the bottom here, I missed some. And if you have to continue doing that process back and forth with the two plates, that's perfectly fine until you get a nice even coat. Some people go in with a second coat. I don't see the need for it if you glitter your Mod Podge right away. I think that one really good layer of glitter is all you really need. Now, if we see some naked spots like right here, then we just take our brush and we just dab a little bit more Mod Podge, maybe in that area. And add a little bit more glitter over it just to cover up those little naked spots. Okay. All right. See any more? I mean, one layer really is all you need to make a statement. And go ahead and pour all that glitter onto the first plate and get as much of that gold glitter off, because we're going to be using other colors on the same plate. And then you should have an abundance of extra glitter that you can use for another project. So just get your 1 ounce cup that you had earlier and pour your glitter. Just fold the plate like this and line up the cup here and pour your glitter back in it, and then you can reuse that glitter later for an entirely new cup. Set your cup to the side, and then we're going to prepare our other 2 cups. Okay guys, so let's move on to Winifred, and we're going to be using this burnt orange or this coppery orange here. So go ahead and you can use this glass as a unit of measure here to see where you need things to line up. So just apply your tape around the sides exactly like you did the Sarah cup, and try to match up that line with the one you're going to have on Winifred. Okay, so go ahead and do that now, and we'll meet back here in 1 second. All right, so we've outlined our Winifred. We put the tape over her decal and left about a 1/2 inch underneath the decal where the line's going to start. And we're going to go ahead and Mod Podge this entire area. So let's do that now. Okay. So like we talked about before, I'm going to go ahead. Let's see if we have her lined up actually while we're at it. How are we doing here? Pretty close. We eyeballed it pretty good. We shall see, won't we? Alright, let's try our Mod Podge. Let's make sure the orange is nearby. So go ahead and open that and get your plates ready. Okay. Hand in the cup there. That's helpful. And go ahead and start applying downward that Mod Podge all the way around. And we're going to try to do that as quickly as possible. Okay. Forgot that darn sticker again. Alright. And we're being generous. We're getting a nice layer there, but we don't want to overdo it, because then we run the risk of it not drying in time for you to be moving it around, and you might think it's dry and then you smear the glitter. If you do, don't forget it can be fixed. And don't forget to add a layer on the bottom. Okay. And make sure everything's covered from the tape line down. Okay, and the bottom itself. All right, now let's get to pouring. And I am doing this through the lens of my camera, so if it looks a little weird, I apologize. Wow, that is a pretty color. That is really pretty. And I know that's kind of an annoying little tapping sound, but I don't want to dump it all out at once. And don't forget, we got to get the bottom too. And then while everything is still wet, let's do a second pour. So let's get our plate. We'll set Winifred to the side. Let's get our plate. We will gather up our excess here. And we'll go ahead and give her another little layer, a little shake for any bald spots we might have missed. Yeah, so you actually don't need a lot of glitter to get the effect you're going for. That is really pretty. That's got great shine. So this is extra fine glitter. For those of you that are going to be purchasing your own products to make this on your own, that is extra fine glitter. So look at that. It's so pretty. Okay, so go ahead and we're going to go ahead and off camera clean all of this orange glitter off of our plates and put it back in our container by folding and putting it in the container like that. And we'll be right back to start on Mary. Okay, so we've got our gold back in, we've got our burnt orange back in, and our two sisters back there are drying. Let's go ahead and do the taping for Mary in 3, 2, 1. Okay, we've done our best at eyeballing those lines. We again did about a 1/4 inch below the lowest part of Mary's hair. Like with all the girls, we're going to do about a 1/2 inch. There is where the line's going to start for your tape, or your glue is going to be about a 1/2 inch below Mary's lowest line. And we are eyeballing it because we're not going to worry ourselves too much about anything like that. Now, I have seen techniques in the past where people will get markers or pens and do a little technique where they draw a line around it. But honestly, it actually gives it a little bit more character if you do have some slants. A friend of mine actually does nothing but slants. She actually makes these 90-degree like V-shaped slants on all her glasses, and it's really, really pretty. So if it has some more character, we're not going to fault that at all, because that's going to make it look even prettier. And honestly, anything that's slanted we can fix. If you really honestly can't deal with it, we'll fix it. And let's go ahead and we'll Mod Podge her and glitter her. So get your purple glitter ready. Okay, take the lid off there. Look at that. And look how covered in glitter I am. It's everywhere. Well, we have one more to do. All right, so same process. Mod Podge here. We're gonna flip our cup, and you can hold it on the inside, or you can just hold it like I'm holding it here if you trust yourself. If you don't have shaky hands and you trust yourself to hold it, then this is perfectly fine this way. All right, so we're just applying even layer of Mod Podge as quickly as possible around the entire taped off base of the cup. Okay. making sure we do get those lines that we do touch underneath, just underneath the tape, so that we have a crisp line. Okay, and then don't forget the bottom. Okay. And if you're a whiz with the Cricut, you can add other little decals. I've seen people put like the decals on, and then they Mod Podge, and then they glitter, so that when you look inside the glass, there's like little stars or hearts or whatever. That is really fun too. All right, let's go ahead and see how this goes. Oh my goodness. That's pretty. I know most people say that they like Winifred the best, and I was Winifred a couple years for Halloween, but I don't know, that purple, something about purple really screams Halloween more to me than like an orange does. Maybe it's because it's just orange is just everywhere, and it's just saturated in orange right now during the holiday. But there's nothing like a beautiful deep purple, a vibrant purple. All right, so we just dumped our extra into this plate, and then we're going to go ahead and continue glittering our Mod Podge. And on the bottom. And yes, I know I make a mess, because if we're not making a mess, we're not doing it right, right? That's what I tell myself. And then let's do it one more time, because I think I still see some Mod Podge. I could be crazy, but if you're looking through a camera lens, it's really hard to tell. Sorry about my accent. Okay. All right, so now that we are good and covered in glitter, look at that. She's gonna be pretty one way or the other, I'm telling you. Look at that. Got a little tiny naked spot right there. Do you know what I'm gonna do? I'm just gonna take a dab, literally like a tiny dab, and a little bit on my finger, and just sprinkle it on there. And then that'll be all it takes to fix that. Okay. And then when you've got that done, and you can kind of soften it out a little bit, and that Mod Podge will peek through. Here's the good thing about Mod Podge. It dries clear. So see how it kind of, I'm trying to get the focus here. If you do like I just did and you accidentally touch it right there, just put more glitter on it. Or you can wait for it to completely dry and go back and do touch-ups where you keep messing it up like I do, because I'm looking through the camera. Okay. Alright, once you've got your layer on there, you can just set it to the side, and then we will do a reveal. And we're back. We've got all our glitter put back up. We're nice and covered in all the colors. So let's go ahead and do a reveal. So I didn't wait for them to finish drying. I just went ahead and decided I wanted to just peel them off right now. So that's what I'm going to do. And you'll see the masking tape and or Mod Podge will leave a little residue. That's completely fine, because that's going to dry clear. And then later you can go in and you can just, like with your fingernail or anything really, just go in and like clean those up, because that's just essentially just glue. Now remember, these cannot be machine washed. They can't be put in the dishwasher, because we don't want the glitter to come off. So these have to be gently hand washed. Got a couple little bumps right there. Just kind of pat those out a little bit. And if you have enough glitter, you can do a second coat later. But for our purposes, So there, wow, look at Sarah. And then just go in with a little Q-tip right there and clean up those edges. And see, that's just glitter. So you're gonna have a bunch of glitter all over it because we're messy and we just dumped glitter everywhere. So just clean these up. Let them continue to dry. Let's see how Winifred did. This part is so satisfying. And because it's masking tape, it's got that little bit of residue, and you see some little Mod Podge peeking through. And that can very easily be cleaned up. There's Winifred. Wow. Look how shiny. Okay, that looks pretty good. We're gonna let her continue to dry over there. And last but certainly not least, we've got Mary. Let's see how she turned out. I wish this camera did the colors justice. The shades you guys are seeing in the camera are like completely different shades. The one that in actuality that I have, see, even this looks more blue in the picture, but in reality, like, this is a nice royal purple, and this is a kind of a fuchsia, like even a pinkish purple color. But darned if it doesn't show up more deep purple in the camera. That's gonna continue drying, so that's wet Mod Podge. I was too anxious and excited to wait for it to dry, and that's why you see those little streaks there. So those are going to dry clear, and you're going to see all that. See all the Mod Podge lines in there? You're not going to see those when it dries. It's going to be completely clear, clear as glass. So just clean them up and then let them dry. And then when they're all cleaned up, we'll take a look at them. So here are our finished products. We've cleaned them up a little bit, gotten some of the glitter off of them, cleaned up our lines. There's Winifred. Look at that. Here's Mary. And that's with 2 layers. And here's Sarah. So they look pretty darn good. Now, if you have the opportunity to go to your local hardware store and pick up some clear enamel spray, either crystal clear or satin will work fine, then this next step will help you out. It's not included in one of your kits that you received, but you do have a couple options. If you want to use the remainder of your Mod Podge from your kit, you can seal the outside of your glitter with the Mod Podge and it dries clear, and that will help protect your glitter. Or, like I mentioned earlier, if you want to use this clear enamel, it doesn't have to be this brand, it can be any brand clear enamel spray. What you're going to want to do for that is from the line down, so anywhere that doesn't have glitter, you're going to cover it with your tape. So you're going to tape all the way around this entire area. Anything that's glass and doesn't have glitter, you're going to tape it up to protect it, and then you're going to go outside and you're going to spray all of the glitter portions and seal those with the enamel spray. Or if you're doing the Mod Podge, you just use your Mod Podge to do the same thing. And then you let that dry, and then you remove all the tape that was around it, all the extra masking tape, and then you'll have your final product. And it looks pretty darn good. And that's it, you guys. That's the Sanderson sisters. Here's all of them together. They look pretty good. I think we did good. What do you think? If you're interested in purchasing one of these kits and you haven't already, please visit us on Bushel and Peck Art on Facebook. We're also on Instagram, Twitter, and all those cool places. Obviously, we're here on YouTube, and if you want to subscribe, we'll have more videos about our other projects coming soon. And thank you so much for supporting our small business, and we really appreciate you, and we'll see you again soon. Goodbye.